You were a slave.
You think the Creole gens de couleur were always free? Did your aunt never tell you about the mulatto Oje and how he led the men of color at Grand Riviere, and how the French captured him and broke him on the wheel?
No, monsieur. What does it mean? Broken on the wheel.
While still alive, to have his arms broken, his legs, his thighs, his spine, and then to be placed on the wheel, face towards heaven, and there to stay until it should please God to protect his life no further. The planters came in from the country to see. I came in later, after they hanged the other men of color who fought with him.
Men of color fought white men?
There are things young men should know, mon fils. You know about those who died. Those were your people.
Will you tell me?
Honey, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too.
I wish I can change the skin, the color of my skin.
That isn't the issue. You missed the issue.
What's the issue?
The issue is we don't have to broadcast it.
I'm not broadcasting anything. I don't do anything wrong.
Nobody said you did anything wrong.
I don't do anything wrong. If we ever have any issues, it's because people call you and tell you things about me that are not
Why
true.
are you broadcasting?
I'm not broadcasting
Why are you
anything.
taking pictures with minorities? Why?
What's wrong with minorities? What's wrong with black people?
Nothing.
What's wrong with these
It's like
families?
talking to an enemy. There's nothing wrong with minorities. They're fabulous. Fabulous. Because you're an enemy to me.
Why?
Because you don't understand.
I don't understand what.
Nothing.
That racism still is alive?
No, but there's a culture.
What culture?
People feel certain things. Hispanics feel certain things towards blacks. Blacks feel certain things towards other groups. It's been that way historically, and it will always be that way.
We aim to pull evil up by the root before it chokes out the flower of our culture and heritage. And our women, let's not forget those ladies, y'all, looking to us for protection from darkies, from Jews, from papists, and from all those smart-ass folks say we come descended from monkeys. That's not my culture and heritage. Yeah. Is that your culture and heritage?
But it's not that way in my heart and in my mind.
But maybe you want to adjust to the world.
But why? If the world doesn't do anything for me and they don't make me happy.
You're like, I don't want to argue with you. I don't want to argue.
I can't be racist in my heart.
And that's good. I'm living in a culture, and I have to live within the culture. So that's the way it is. That's how I got it. I got the whole message. You live with your heart.
I don't.
You can't be flexible. You can.
I am flexible. I understand that that's the way you were raised and that's your culture, and I'm respectful and
why do you have to disrespect them? Those are...
Who am I disrespecting?
The world before you.
We gonna hang us a Negro.
Why am I disrespecting them?
By walking, you're perceived as either a Latina or a white girl. Why should you be walking publicly with black people? Why? Is there a benefit to you?
Is it a benefit to me? Does it matter if they're white or blue or yellow?
I guess that you don't know that.
One of the loveliest black creatures to escort Django here around your magnificent grounds.
Oh, well, absolutely. Bettina.
Yes, sir, Big Dad.
What's your Jimmy's name again? Django. Bettina Sugar, could you take Django there and take him around the grounds here and show him all the pretty stuff?
As you please, Big Dad.
Oh, Mr. Bennett, I must remind you, Django is a free man. He cannot be treated like a slave. Within the bounds of good taste, he must be treated as an extension of myself.
Understood, Schultz. Bettina Sugar?
Yes, sir.
Django isn't a slave. Django is a free man, you understand? You can't treat him like any of the other niggas around here because he ain't like any of the other niggas around here. You got it?
You want I should treat him like white folks?
No. That's not what I said.
Then I don't know what you want, Big Daddy.
Maybe you don't know what people think of you. It does matter, yeah. It matters.
Do you know that I'm mixed?
No, I don't know.
You know that I'm mixed.
You told me you were going to remove those. You said, yes, I understand you. I mean, you change from day to day. Wow. So painful, wow.
People call you and tell you that I have black people on my Instagram, and it bothers you.
Yeah, it bothers me a lot that you want to broadcast that you're associating with black people. You have to?
You associate with black people.
I'm not you and you're not me. You're supposed to be a delicate white or a delicate Latina girl.
I'm a mixed girl.
Okay, well, but
and you're in love with me. And I'm black and Mexican, whether you like it or not, whether the world accepts it or not. And you're asking me to remove something that's part of me and in my bloodstream because the world thinks different of me and you're afraid of what they're going to think because of your upbringing. You want me to have hate towards black people?
I don't want you to have hate. That's what people do. They turn things around. I want you to love them privately. In your whole life, every day you can be with them. Every single day of your life.
But they're not in public?
But why publicize it on the Instagram and why bring it to my games?
Why bring the black people to the games? Honey, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, too.
I wish I could change the skin, the color of my skin.
Okay. Hey, how y'all doing? This is MrBlowsurmind coming with another thought-provoking topic. This topic is the decoding of what you heard between Donald Sterling and V. Stiviano. I'm going to say that again. This is the decoding of what you heard with Donald Sterling versus V. Stiviano. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm doing this after the fact. A lot of times when stories like this break, and a lot of the people who are not too familiar with how this whole dynamic works, I allow a lot of you to just go ahead and vent and to come off your emotions and to be so stunned and to feel like that, well, I can't believe my eyes. I can't believe what I'm hearing. I believe to be in the year that we in, and these type of things are still being sought and said and done. I'm so appalled. Well, hopefully, you know, some of this stuff is starting to wake you up. I really hope so. Because the stuff that was said by Donald Sterling is so profound. It's to tell you how deep this really is. But I didn't hear the pundits. I didn't hear the people who were supposed to be the talking heads to advise or to interpret what had been truly stated. And I'm kind of having contradictory aspect of what was been said, and I kind of believe that our people really don't know racism. I'm going to say that again. Some of you finna be shocked, but I have to say it. I have to be real. I got to tell it like it is. I'm the whiteologist. See, for a lot of you read, a lot of you had a incident. For me, I had plenty. And I know my life has been built around this. That's why I'm an advocate, and I try to bring things. And a lot of you will see some of my videos and be like, ain't nobody looking at it. It's not that nobody's looking at it. They're hiding my videos. The stuff I'm talking about is not the stuff that you're supposed to be putting your mentality on. It's not things to be thought about. You're supposed to be blinded with the entertainment and the social media and all these other things and not paying attention to the dynamic and the structure of white supremacy. But anyway. So the name of this video is the Decoding. And when I mean decoding is I'm going to show you what a lot of you cannot catch. Now, as this just start off, you see where she says, honey, I'm sorry. He says, I'm sorry too. I wish I could change the skin, the color of my skin. Now, I want you to put your thinking cap on. If you have to make some kind of rebuttal or an apology to somebody who you're dating. Now this is what, for you, a lot of you who may be hearing me who are in these interracial marriages or associations and relationships, this cannot be just because of this situation. I believe this happens a lot, that there's an apology aspect, maybe not as open as this part here, but there's always this under aspect that you have to take the low road in the relationship, because you know why? Somebody has to give up something in a relationship when you have two opposing, you understand? You have two people who are really in opposition to each other. For somebody who may be hearing me saying, I don't believe that, that's not in my heart, that's not what I think. But let me tell you something. This Donald Sterling is telling you, he's telling you the fabric, the foundation of this nation that was created as a consumer nation built on the backs, sweat, blood, and tears of black folks who his ancestors, okay? His ancestors are the one who were the shipping, producers, manufacturings, and then the other aspect of those were the buyers. You feel what I'm saying? So when you look at this collectively, okay, he spoke volumes. He spoke in a way that the average not knowing racist or racism or understanding white supremacy, all you heard was he didn't like black people, right? That's the only thing you heard out of the whole scenario. There was way more to it than what you just saying. He didn't like black people. And to be honest with you, I don't even want to say that because some people are going to take it in the wrong way. I really don't care. But I'm going to hit that part when I get to it. So anyway, she says, I wish I could change the color of my skin. You in a relationship with somebody, right? And you heard this, right? When do you as the individual get up and say, I'm not going to be dealing with that? Honestly, if you don't like the people that look in reference or in likeness to myself, then what are you really saying to me, okay, in your mind? What are you thinking about me truly in your mind? But he had a way that he told her that this is how I perceive you. I'm going to say it again. He said, right? And we'll go across all that. He said how the way that I have to perceive you to make this relationship work is under this only dynamic that I'm going to tell you. And he says something profound to her. He says, and if you don't, and if you can't, what? I can find somebody who's willing to do it. I'm going to say that again. He says, I'll find somebody who's willing to do it, even though you can't do it. Huh? Was that profound or was that not profound? So, I'm saying that, let's move this out of here. I'm saying that when we see these type of relationship, there is always someone taking the low road. You cannot come in no relationship, and I'm telling you, I got extensive background knowledge about relationships. Okay? My relationships have been like marriages. I'm not one who's gone through to and fro, back and forth. So I think I have some expertise in relationships. And let me tell you something. When two people of the same like and the same kind have sometimes oppositions based on their upbringings, that have sometimes conflicts in that. You mean to tell me with two opposite polar people who in historical aspects have been in opposition to each other in different ways of perspective of how things are viewed? What perspective mean view? Are going to somehow be cordial as if this I can paint over it. You know, it's like whitewashing a gravestone. Yes, or a mausoleum where inside are people who have passed away, who are decaying inside of this sanctuary that has been created, and inside there, you understand what I mean, of the decomposing, scent and so forth, right? But what they do is they, instead of it looking like a place of death, they paint over it to make it seem like it's not that bad. Then it's like more of a little house, right? And so I'm saying that this is how these relationships are done. Things have to be painted over. You know what I'm saying? Febreze it. Lysol it. Pine Sol it. Comet it. In order for it to make it work. So here she is compromising. Right? She compromises by saying, well, if I could change the skin, right? If I could change my skin, okay, I would do it for you. Huh? See, she wants to come across in one aspect as if like I'm doing this to expose him and I was such against it. Okay? And then she said, well, I only said this to be sarcastic. Even in playing, would you, those who are pro 100% black, would you ever play the role to make somebody even think that you are even willing to even go there? Otherwise, you know what I'm saying, you playing the acting role, and what parts become confused whether you acting or what is real. You feel what I'm saying? Because how long have you been together with him? And if you got supposedly a quantity of these recordings, then guess what? You was willing to put up with it. And why did you put up with it? Well, that's because the money aspect there, the material, the traveling, right? The prestige and status you got out of it, right? But I'm going to show you something. This is a double-edged sword here. He's guilty, but she ain't innocent her damn self. You feel what I'm saying? And I believe, in a way, he said what he said to convict himself. Don't get me wrong. But did she play the card? Huh? And when I say play the card, is what I'm saying is that up until a certain point, when did it now feel like that you needed to tell? Because it seemed like this was on the brink. This seemed like this was about to be over with. He was like, okay, we're going to sell our ties, walk away from it. Who out of the relationship was going to lose more? Him or her? Huh? Who was going to lose more, y'all? A billionaire versus, well, you feeding off what I'm giving you, right? Based on being my side lady. You were seeing the extravagant gifts he was giving her, the lavish rides and homes and off the book accounts, as she stated, right? So you was willing to play the wench role. I'm sorry, y'all. Got to be real about it. She wanted to play the wench role, right? I mean, this was a modern day plantation scene played before the world. Huh? Yes, some Big Daddy. I'm going to play that. Okay? And so she says this out of the sarcastic way to really try to get him to get into the conversation. Is that what she's trying to say? I was trying to really antagonize and hit them buttons so that you could hear him say what he says. But then listen to what he says, right? Listen to what he says.
The issue which we don't have to broadcast.
Okay. He says, you missed the point. When you're talking about your skin, right? But you missed the issue. The issue wasn't about you and your skin. The issue is about you broadcasting your relationships on this Instagram. Now, I don't want people to hear me to misconstrue what I'm saying here, because some people are going to make it seem as if that you think I'm taking the side of Sterling. I'm not taking the side of Sterling. All I'm saying is both of these people were guilty. She ain't innocent. But she played the card. She played the card she could only play at the end. And he told you that what he should have did, because he knew how she was playing the game and was using it as leverage to get something, even though, as a consolation prize, you know what I'm saying? Like being on a game show. And if you don't, win part of, let's say if it's Wheel of Fortune or Jeopardy, there's a consolation prize even if you don't answer nothing. $2,000 or $1,000, you know what I'm saying? So she was stacking up her chips with these tapes in order to say a consolation prize when you break up with me. I got something on you. Feel what I'm saying, y'all? Come on now. Don't get caught up in that. Yeah, there was race in it. Don't get me wrong, and I'm going to touch that. She ain't innocent. She played the race card, y'all. She played the race card. She played on that one half of her half that she could play on. Okay? Because up until that point, what part of her, according to what they've been writing in the paper, was her alias? I ain't seen nothing about black and nothing in her name. I seen Hispanic, Perez, and all that Maria and all that other stuff, but I seen nothing that came across as black. But that is your makeup. That's your makeup, and I'm not disassociating or taking that away from you. What I'm saying is, really? and our people cannot see this, and then you get everybody all into this. It is something that needed to be done. Don't get me wrong. This is an issue that needs to be in the forefront. It needs to be talked about. It needs to be open, wide open, so we can have this world surgery so that we can cut out this cancer. If everybody believes that's the way it's going to happen, I'm going to tell you, I don't believe that's the way this is going to go down. There's not a discussion, a conversation that can have to eradicate this. This is for wishful thinkers. This is for people who think that somehow you can sit down and you can get with the laws and doctrines, and that somehow somebody's going to adhere to that because according to the way we structured it, we're going to obey it. But they told you back. They told you back in the 1700s. Matter of fact, yeah, they told you 1763 when the Supreme Court said, or I think it was even 17. I have to go back and get my stats correct on that. That the Supreme Court said that you as a black person is not a citizen. Now, no one has gone back, none of these so-called organizations that have lawyers and have a law firm have not gone back to overturn that ruling. Then that is still on the books, and they're still applying and using it. So we can play this game all y'all want to play, and everybody can pretend that they're upset, and all these so-called institutions that are set up to fight against all this inequality and violation of civil rights and liberties. You can play that game, but that's what it is, a game. So he's telling her, look, you're broadcasting this, okay? And she said, I'm not broadcasting anything. Huh? Got to the child part, right? I'm not broadcasting anything. So this issue that he's talking about, is it really pertaining to black people? Or was he talking about you, girl, and these cats you bring into my game? And you know that the circle that I'm in, you know where we're going to get back to me. So why put this out here for them to see? For them to see. This was personal, y'all. This was about him and her. No, you're not going to like this. You're not going to like this. I'm not taking it from Master. I'm against Master. Huh? Master, no, I'm against him. I want you to understand I'm against him. But don't let nobody play our ass. You understand? Don't let nobody play our ass. Because a lot of people jumping on shit and don't even understand how this shit is, and you don't even really know racism. And you let somebody pull you in a situation, and we jumping based on a couple catchphrase words, and then what's going to end up happening? They pulled a trick on you. For those who ain't been paying attention, they came up with a nice little game, right? They came with a nice little game. The game they playing now, they putting it back. They flipping it back on you, huh? They done found a way to flip the game back on up. In a new book, I was against all white people as a kid. When the NBA banned Clippers owner Donald Sterling for life based on racist comment made in conversations recorded by an alleged mistress, one of the issues raised was what type of precedent the league was setting. For instance, what if Michael Jordan were recorded making similar comments? Would the NBA Commissioner Adam Silver ban for life arguably the greatest living basketball player and current owner of the Charlotte Bobcats too? Well, Jordan offered some eye-opening comments on his own about race in a book released Tuesday. The book, Michael Jordan the Life, is a biography of his illness written by Roland Lazenby. In it, Jordan explains how growing up in an area of North Carolina heavily influenced and sometimes even funded by the Ku Klux Klan in the 1960s and 70s shaped his view on race, and they were far from what would be viewed as politically correct. Reportedly, these views really took shape shortly after Jordan watched the iconic television miniseries Roots, and after a girl at his school called him the N-word in 1977. So I threw a soda at her. Jordan said in the book, I was really rebelling. I considered myself a racist at the time. Basically, I was against all white people. The book also includes anecdotes of Jordan's time on the school baseball team when he was one of only 2 black players and was called inferior while on the team. In many ways, the book serves as a testament to Jordan's drive, which many people close to him believe was fueled by negative experiences, particularly in his early life. Former Chicago Bulls general manager Jerry Krause said in the book that Jordan remembers everyone who ever didn't think he was going to be great. He remembers every negative story that ever has been written about him. Jordan was among the first NBA owners and high-profile figures in the sport to go on record against Sterling's comments when they were first released, issuing this statement. I looked at this from 2 different perspectives, as a current owner and a former player. As an owner, I'm obviously disgusted that a fellow team owner could hold such sickening and offensive views. I am confident that the NBA Commissioner, Adam Silver, will make a full investigation and take appropriate action quickly. As a former player, I am completely outraged. There is no room in the NBA or anywhere else for this kind of racism and hatred that Mr. Sterling allegedly expressed. I am appalled that this type of ignorance still exists within our country and at the highest level of our sport. In a league where the majority of players are African American, we cannot and must not tolerate discrimination at any level. And it is nasty. For you who ain't heard, you're going to figure it out. Okay? So, this issue is about him and her and about their relationship and about her having this privilege to be able to have this freedom, a part of the organization of the Clippers, and the possibility of her abusing the power to a point that it's becoming so obscene. That word is coming back and it's causing chaos in their little bubble of circles, right? And he's addressing her about it. This ain't the first time. He done told her time and time again. But she feel like she got him. She can play him, right? So he said, I'm not broadcasting, I'm not doing anything. Continue.
Not doing anything. I didn't do anything wrong.
Nobody said you did anything wrong.
I don't do anything wrong. If we ever have any issues, it's because people call you and tell you things about me that are not true.
All right. See? What did she just say? I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. And then people are calling you, telling you, well, how can anybody be calling him to tell him if the people that would associate with him, what ways would they be really to really know what she's doing? If she's hanging in this crowd that eventually comes out later in the conversation on other tapes, right? Because this is the TMZ version. There's other tapes. And based on what is being said here, right, she's bringing in people of her associations prior, maybe before she, got with him or whatever it may have been, and with her prestige and power in the organization to be able to go to and fro and bringing people in. So she brings in people, right? So that would be easy to be seen because, there's got to be arrangements and things set up, how many people, who it is, and so forth. You know what I'm saying? So there's track records of the in and out of people that you're bringing and the number and so forth, right? Okay, so they're calling you based on what? Who's the one calling you? The people part of the association, right? And then when you get on the Instagram, well, this is public. Any one of them can see that. Anybody can see that. Just like these videos. Anybody can see that when you make these videos public, right? So he's saying, look, I ain't saying you did anything wrong. I'm just telling you that, look, you got to be a little bit more careful about how you out here doing what you doing. Okay? You got to be watching what you doing out here. Eyes and ears are out here watching every movement of you. And you little too carefree, you understand? And let me break it down to you who you supposed to be with me.
Broadcasting.
I'm not broadcasting
Taking pictures with minorities. Why?
Now he said, why are you out there taking pictures with minorities? Okay? Now, let me show you that black people think when they think about in terms of racism against black people, when they say the word minority, why do you only think it's only us? Isn't Hispanics considered minorities? Isn't Asians considered minorities? Isn't every other ethnic group in this country considered minorities? Huh? I mean, don't get me wrong, my people. Don't think that I'm advocating for them. I'm saying don't get caught up and fooled by somebody else trying to be slick, pulling some shit, and there was a couple catchphrase words, and which to me, somebody has doctored this up to make it appear a way, and I'm not, don't get me wrong. This motherfucker is who he is. He is what he is. Ain't no doubt about that. But don't let some motherfucker over here setting us up to get us all up in this shit when she ain't getting no shit about you. She only using this shit because her ass was losing out. But you falling for the okie doke. Huh? You falling for the okie doke. He been saying it for the longest. And it's just, you have to, why do you need all the tapes? You just get up out the situation and move on. Say that motherfucker ain't something, he ain't right. But was this a, break the glass case of emergency? If his ass try to leave me, I got some shit to extort his ass with and be like, before I go, how about these tapes? You want to buy these tapes from me? Because I can release it and this will ruin you. Are you seeing the game played here? I'm not excusing him. I ain't excusing her though. She just as guilty. So anyway, he said, hey, look, this with minorities, right? She a minority both ways, black and Mexican, right? She black and Hispanic, right? She's a double minority, right? But in actuality, black people can't even be a minority. Huh? Did you know that? I said for a long time that 9/10 of the world population is of color. So how is it that minorities can be black people? This is why they're telling you that in 2050, white people will be the minority in this country. Huh? But if we looked at it from a world population, they have always been the minority. And he's going to state in that conversation why. Huh? He's going to tell you something. Let's continue. So anyway, it says minorities. So right away, black people. Oh, talking about black people. Why are you taking pictures with minorities? Huh? What's the definition of minority? Huh? Now, I'm showing you that, see, mothers can play with us, man. They can play with us because they say they really don't know. They think they know and they don't even know. See, I myself know because I myself got real. I got real situation. I would have never had to read a book a day in my life to know this. So let's look at the word minority. The word minority says this. Okay. Minority. Okay. Minority. The smallest part of a number forming less than half of the whole, a smaller party or group opposed to majority as voting or the other actions. Did minority have anything to do with only black people? See, I'm going to show that y'all don't know racism. You don't know it, man. You think you know, and it's like y'all don't know. And this is because the way that they changed the game, coming up out of the 70s, going into the 80s, and all this stuff. A lot of you who were born, if you're born, 70, mid 70s on up and so forth. By the time you get to a certain age, you still got the racist cops and you got all that stuff going on, but some of the other stuff is the structured and the overtness that they used to display. Some of this is kind of mellowed out a little bit because of white flight started to get even further away from you. So the only association that a lot of you had is only if you went to work with them, associated with them, school with them. You feel what I'm saying? See, I come from a special era, a special community where I got to deal with this more than the average person. Okay? And so when I'm telling you the way that everybody jumped on this boat, a lot of you proved to me you don't know racism. Minorities? Why are you taking pictures with minority? Minority don't just mean black people. Minority can mean Asian, any small group other than the majority. And the majority is supposed to be in this country according to the way the demographics and the numbers are displayed. White people are supposed to be the majority. So anything that is not white can be a minority. Getting played. Seeing where you are racially minded, really. Okay? This don't get me wrong, this is not taking away from the fact that he is, because he does sign his own, he does John Hancock his own with stuff he had said. I'm just saying, don't let her, she's, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's go on. So minority don't necessarily mean just to mean you black people. Matter of fact, when you look at the so-called, this is what happened with us with affirmative action. When they brought out affirmative action, people thought that only black people were the one to get affirmative action. Who all got that? And then they found another little clause in it that women could get it. They were considered the minorities too. Do you understand racism? I don't think you do. You think you do, but in all actuality, you do not know. So let's continue on. So you think you are a minority only.
What's wrong with minorities? What's wrong with black people?
What's wrong with minorities? What's wrong with black people? Now who's the one saying black people? She's saying black people. Didn't come out of his mouth. His word was minority. Her word was black people. You know why she's saying black people? Because she knows she's recording. She knows she's recording. And she's trying to get him into this conversation so that she can have leverage so that when she comes back to extort him, y'all fall for the game. I'm not saying this motherfucker here ain't who he is. I'm saying, did she play everybody? Let's go forward. See? Then she went from minorities to black to Hispanic. She going all over the board. Is Hispanics out here protesting to get it? Nope. Is the Asians out here protesting about what it said? Nope. Well, we know why we out there. We know that. But see, we keep wanting to be so surprised as if we don't understand what this damn place was built on. This is what kills me. Y'all act as if you don't know what this whole shit has been built on. You want to act as if like somehow, let me tell you something. How does something just goes away if no one has the power to make it go away? If the people who supposedly, if the racist people, and they are the majority of the damn people, and they're the ones got all the damn power and the control, then how does racism go away? Because who has the power greater than them to make them change? What? I'm so tired of this wishful thinking to make things somehow just magically go away. This white cat said something that is profound when we get to it. He's telling you how deep this shit is. And you thinking, if I play good, and if I do this, and we do this, that it's gonna go away. Man, please. Y'all better get real. We better get on the right program to understand what this is truly about. He says, this is like talking to an enemy. Listen.
It's like talking to an enemy. There's nothing wrong with minority.
Huh? It's like talking to an enemy. What does he mean by that? This is two opposite polar. Huh? These are two different opposite polars. White and black. People get into the philosophical aspect where white people used to be black. We ain't talking about they was grafted, from a germ and it was from black to brown. You can go through all that, right? But their mentality says, you're an enemy to me. It's like talking to an enemy. He said, it's like talking to an enemy. He know what he mean when he say that. He knows the real true dynamic of why you really an enemy to him is because you can annihilate me off the face of the planet. Even though I stockpile all the guns and I got all the power and the money and the facilities and the capitals, I control it all. But boy, do you know, y'all killing us with this. And so me talking to an enemy is like trying to tell, how can I explain to you when you're in opposition to me to make you understand? What can I say to you? Huh? There's nothing I can say to you that can make you understand this. If honestly you don't understand it. Girl, you ain't like no teenager. You ain't like just getting in your 20s. You's a grown woman. And you acting as if you don't understand this? Huh? But there is a reason why. Because, so many of our people and all the minorities have gotten away from teaching the core foundation of how we are in this predicament, how this all took place. What is your ancestry? What is your history? That's why you sit there so dumbfounded. And he gonna tell you must be stupid. Going on.
They're fabulous. Fabulous. Because you're an enemy to me. Why?
Huh? So there's nothing wrong with minorities. They're fabulous. But you're an enemy to me. Don't you know why you're an enemy to me? You are genetically superior to my genetics. Okay? You are dominant. You can wipe me off. Don't you know this? Well, they don't teach that in these schools. This is not part of the curriculum in these schools. And you would not want your enemy to know this. So it's kind of befuddles him to like, damn, wait a minute, you're a grown-ass woman, and yet you don't even understand why you are really considered an enemy to me? You don't understand why we have the position that we are in? Haven't at this point in time in the history of life that y'all haven't figured out why we are the way we are? Have you not figured this out by yet? You ain't figured this out yet? There's nothing wrong with you. You minorities are fabulous, but you are an enemy to me. Do you not understand? She says, why?
Because you don't understand.
You don't understand. Is he talking about what I'm talking about? Is he talking about what I'm talking about? Is he saying codedly, look, you don't understand what this whole dynamic, why this white supremacy structure is the way it is, why we have to be doing the things we doing, this is what we are protecting us to survive. I'm trying to protect ourselves to survive. Don't you get it? She don't get it. Because her mind ain't on that. Her mind is trying to keep this cash cow, this sugar daddy. She trying to keep the cash cow and the sugar daddy. I don't give a shit about none of that in actuality. I don't care about none of that shit. I'm just playing this game because, look, this is a billionaire. I ain't going to get another one of these. This is a once in a lifetime. And I got to make the best out of the situation. And you be damned, I'm going to let you go that easy. I need something powerful to hold on to your ass. And you already kind of like this, well, I know where to go.
I don't understand what? That racism still is alive?
She said, I don't understand what? I don't understand what? He's like, nothing. That racism still is alive? Is racism still alive? She's saying these words, right? Understand now, the words that are being played that's in your mind to show you that we do not understand. I gotta take me out of that. Y'all don't understand. Racism is because it's about survival. Francis Cress Welsing told us this. For those who understand and know that, go follow her research. Go get the ISIS paper. Go read some of that, the Cress color theory. Go read that stuff. This is what he's talking about. He's talking about in the simple fact of genetics, survival. The white race. Go look at my video that I made that says that the white people are going into extinction. This ain't no joke. Go look and see if they are going to India to have babies, making white babies out of Indian women. This ain't no joke. This is real. And so if you become extinct and your enemy is growing in numbers, you're going to have to retaliate and to do something in order to preserve yourself. I'm not condoning it, but I'm giving you what this mug is talking about. And this is going to show how people don't really know racism. I'm not supporting what he's saying. I'm saying she's doing more all the shit saying than he is so far, right? All right, let's continue. She said that racism is still alive?
No, but there's a culture. White race feel certain things. Hispanics feel certain things towards blacks. Blacks feel certain things towards other groups. It's been that way historically, and it will always be that way.
Did he just break something down to you? He said how Hispanics got things against black people. Is that true? Is that true what he said? Do Hispanic people have a disdain towards black people? Yes, they do. You know why? Because Hispanic people think they white. And so when you look at it from the same perspective of the white who calls himself white, why does the Hispanic hate the black? Because the black can annihilate his Hispanic. He can take away and make that become a Cuban. He can take that so-called Blanco Spanish and turn him to Negro Spanish. You feel what I'm saying? This is where all our hatred is coming, because we have the genetic superior to annihilate and wipe a mug off. And y'all don't understand that. You ain't got no idea how that works, right? You don't even understand how that truly works. This is what he's saying to her. But it is her who are using all the key trigger words to facilitate in you that this conversation is about you. He's talking about explaining to her about him and her situation. Continuing.
Not that way in my heart and in my mind.
But it's not in that way in my heart and in my mind. Wait a minute. Let's go back again. Because how did you go there? How did you go there? He said people feel certain things. Hispanics feel certain things towards blacks. Blacks feel certain things towards other groups. Well, blacks, let's clean this up. Blacks feel the way they feel because other groups are against black people. That's just because we are the foundation. We are the beginning of it. So of course we're taking the blunt from everybody else who is not black, who are a facet of blackness, right? But if not of the original blackness, they are facet. So they all have to be against us because we all can annihilate them. Do we understand this? This is what this is all about. Everybody disliking us because we can wipe them all back to black when they all been working so hard to try to keep themselves shaved and looking that way. That they want to preserve what they believe to be who they are originally, because they don't like the original because they can never be the original without getting back into the original. Huh? Sound like that story when they talk about Jesus talking about Nicodemus and how does a man be born again? Huh? Unless a man be born again, it ain't got nothing to do with sprinkling no water in your head either. Okay? So she from that conversation he said from people feel certain things, she says it's not
been that way historically, and it will always be that way.
And he said, but it will always be this way as long as white people are on this planet. It will historically will continue to be this way because white people know this. And don't fall for this because the new white kids went out there and they voted for Obama. They don't have the same mindset as their parents. No, they understood the game. They understood that if we didn't vote to make Obama, that they will still continue to think that we just like them, but we have to change it to make it appear that we really ain't like that. But in actuality, they know about survival and the genetics. So quit playing the game. Y'all don't understand. You don't understand this game. And the ones that y'all who got these white people on your side, they not even consider. White ain't even got nothing to do with your color. White never got to do with the social status and the economics and power of capital and labor. You understand what I'm saying? If you got that, then you are considered in the white realm. This cat is white because of what he got, not just because of his skin color. So those who like them, this is where this so-called what the eugenics was about, taking the best of their genes and keep replicating it so that they can make a greater population of themselves and rid out the bad genes of them, and allow you to denigrate and decimate yourself, that you're this wild animal beast-like people, that all we have to do is just keep you in that relative position while we control and running every damn thing. That's why it's called race. Somebody got to be first. Our people just ain't figured out how to get. We just like the position just to be in the race. We don't have to be winning. We don't have. You know what I'm saying? But we got to understand. We're gonna have to start making new positions and places, because at the end of the day, it's about getting back to the position where you once were. You got to get back, because that's the natural order of things. You cannot. This world cannot function if we stayed at last. Look at what's been happening when you let other people who are the, as they say, Johnny-come-latelys, who are the less historical people of knowledge and knowledge and know-how, you letting them run it, and they just off balance and offset everything to the natural balance. So the only person who could be in position to understand how it runs and operates will have to be the original people. Okay? So she's the one flipping it and saying that it's not in my heart. Well, it's not in your heart that you're saying about what? What is she talking about? Think about it. What is she talking about that's not in her heart? Oh, he said that Hispanics feel certain ways about black people, and black people have certain things about other groups. But she said that's not in her heart. Huh? Well, it can't be in your heart because you are both. You understand? You're of both. You're both. You're Hispanic and you're black. But he's gonna say something. Check it out.
It's not that way in my heart and in my mind.
But maybe you want to adjust to the world.
He said, but maybe you want to adjust to the world. Meaning, don't you know that we set up a paradigm thought? That we're going to try to make this multicultural thing? Because we understand that it has a twofold way or tenfold way of working. That we can at the same time destroy your ancestry and dilute the other one at the same time, and in that mixture will breed a new, younger people than ourselves. Oh my goodness, y'all don't understand how this is working. This, man, like I said, sometimes the Creator sends things, but sometimes we can't understand it. Because you two caught up in your other realms of what you think, what is more important and what is. And Creator sending you that there is an emergency in them. There is a push to try to build this wall because it is caving on them. Okay? But she's being exposed for who she truly is. She was out there to get that money, and she was doing whatever she was doing with him. Okay, you know, 1 minute you're supposed to be the right hand, right arm, right hand girl, and but you paid off the books, and you love him like a father, and you feel what I'm saying? And he give you lavish gifts off the book, so there ain't no records of what he been giving to you, but you just the secretary or whatever it is that you're supposed to be with him. Okay, whatever, right? But again, when we go in this conversation, you're going to see he said something, and this is why these tapes are out here. But anyway, let's continue. So it says that maybe you want to adjust to the world. Well, that's that is what we have created, this new mindset. Because as long as you over here, y'all doing this and diluting one and destroying the other one, we can build ours up. We can build our numbers up. The real of us in our community, our culture, that understand the preserving and take you to the Ku Klux Klan, isn't that their model? The preserving of their whiteness.
We aim to pull evil up by the root before it chokes out the flower of our culture and heritage.
The world doesn't do anything for me and they don't make me happy.
She says, the world doesn't make me happy or doesn't do anything for me. Huh? She was saying that it wasn't in her heart to be thinking about whether Hispanics and blacks not liking each other, because she both of them. And he said, well, maybe you're just trying to adjust to the world. Because obviously you don't understand why that dichotomy is there. You don't understand why Hispanics and blacks don't like each other. You don't understand why blacks don't like other groups. You don't understand none of that, do you? Huh? You don't understand none of that. So maybe you just try to adjust to what the world has said, that what the way everything should go, right? That's what you think. We're supposed to just, go along with that, and everything will be fine, right? You're trying to adjust to that, huh?
I don't want to argue with you. I don't want to argue.
I can't be racist in my heart.
He said, I cannot be racist, but you said, I don't want to argue with you about this. I can't talk to you because you don't understand this. But she's the one saying, I can't be racist in my heart. I don't know. This gonna come across as if I'm a with master in them. I better believe it. I ain't with master at all. I'm just saying we getting played, y'all. We're getting played. Somebody's playing our ass. Somebody's using this as a decoy to divert us when you really need to be able to break this shit down and look at it for what it is. Huh? She can't be racist in her heart. Okay. Well, you can't, because that's what happens to when they created that dynamic. When they created the multiculturalism, this what creates in you to be able to, what side do I play on? I can't be against black because I'm black too. I can't be against Hispanic because I'm Hispanic too. So I have to be neutral. This is why the multicultural or the mulattoes, or whatever you want to call them, they always feel like they're out of place because they're not too much one or the other. Isn't that true? Isn't that true? So that created a new dynamic of peoples. They're not really loyal to anybody. So they have to love everybody. You get it? All right. Let's move forward.
And that's good. I'm living in a culture, and I have to live within the culture.
See? He said, that's good. That's good that you can do that. You have the luxury to do that. Because guess what? You're part of the blacks, which gives you a dominant gene, and then you have your Hispanic, will have kind of your recessive, but it doesn't really offset you that much. That's good for you. But I'm living in a culture, and I have to live within the culture. And the culture is we have to preserve our whiteness. This is our agenda. If we do not, if we go lackadaisical like you guys, and we can just love and have offsprings with everybody, do you not understand we'll be decimated? So I have to live within the culture.
So that's the way it is. That's all. I got it. I got that whole message.
So he said, that's all. I got it. I got the whole message. What you're saying, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, so that's the way it is. That's all. I got it. I got the whole message. I got what you're saying. I understand that. That's actually beneficial for y'all. You get the upgrade, right? As a Hispanic going and half Negro and getting with other people of color, you upgrade. That's fine for you. But that doesn't do anything for my culture and my people. That doesn't do anything for us. That knocks us off. You don't understand this?
You live with your heart.
See? You live with your heart. See? If white people live with their heart, like black people live with our heart, I think I already told y'all that it's in Psalms, 37, 10, and 11, I think it is. You'll look for them and you won't see them anymore. Huh? They won't be around. If they carefree, loving all people outside of their own self, they already told you one drop of black blood makes you black. So the minute they go outside of their own race and they have procreations and offsprings and childrens with people not of themselves, they done killed off the lineage of their own culture and their peoples. This hard to understand? I'm not condoning it, y'all. It's there. It's there. Continuing. So you live with your heart. We can't do that. If we live with our heart, we've been gone a long time ago. Because in actuality, we don't really hate you. In actuality, they don't hate us. They want to be us. Do we understand that? But because of their genetic disposition, forces them to have to be in the position that they're in. Huh? It forces them to be in that position. I ain't condoning it. And I'm not saying that I'm really for that. But you got to come to a point that you got to understand it. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, say, for instance, when we seen in the chocolate cities that the young brothers are out here are being killed off. The young brothers. We get it armed and we say something got to change, something we got to do something about it. We out and we protesting, we marching, we trying to gather, we trying to get unity, we trying to voice out, we trying to get activity, we trying to get them jobs to make a change in that. So what makes that any different than what they're? What makes that any difference? Makes no difference, does it? I'm not condoning what he's saying, y'all. I'm just telling like it is. What I've been putting out lately, and the reason why the numbers are low because what it's saying is true, and this ain't supposed to be something continue to put out there. Because you ever heard the old saying, "Won the war without a shot"?
You can't be flexible.
You can't be flexible. You can't. Now, what does he mean by you can't be flexible? All I'm asking you to do is bend for me. I'm only asking you to bend a little bit for me. I want you to just bend a little bit. And here's the reason why.
I understand that that's the way you were raised and that's your culture. I'm respectful.
Why do you have to disrespect?
Now, wait a minute. He said you can't be flexible and jump from flexible to I can't help that's the way you were born. Who's more focused on the racial aspect? Is it him or is it her? He said you can't be flexible. What he mean by that is, look, I'm going to explain, and he's going to explain that part next or after this. Where he tells her, you are perceived. You are perceived. And I'm going to stop at that. You are perceived. You don't know what perceive is, go look it up. You are perceived by a standard at which we set according to knowing your heritage and lineage. We have categorized you in a certain way. And this is why I'm asking you to be flexible to come across as if you want to deal with me. Okay? So she says that what? She throws and says, I can't help it that you was raised that way. She don't get it. And a lot of you don't get it. A lot of you are so stuck on the fact that you think you know racism. Your ass don't even know racism. Because at this point in time in the game, with all the information that's out here by now, you're supposed to know now that we are coming and rising to the position of power, because guess what's done happened? They are fighting a battle they can't win. They are declining in their population. Did you not hear my video where I told you that they were decimating and the death rate was out more than the birth rate? So if you die more than you birthing, guess what? You're dying out. They know this. So guess what's happening? They are finding every facet trying to get in by getting somebody of color, because the mating with white and white, if it ain't with science, it ain't happening. It ain't happening, Captain. It ain't happening. So you won't understand this. Ain't got nothing to do about what you believe, talking about some raising up and making us hating black people. That ain't what this is about. Anybody still stuck on that? You don't even know nothing about this game. You don't even understand this game. You stuck on some nonsense that we gave you. With all the information and technology and all the publications and writing, by now you should understand what this is truly about. Have you not been listening to some of the stuff with the black section of the internet? All this pro-blackness and talking about melanin and all? Have you heard any of this stuff? No, she ain't heard none of that stuff. But she ain't focused on that because she didn't really care about that. What she focused on, how I can extort your ass to get this money out you. Continue.
You have to disrespect them. Those are... Who would disrespect the world before you? What?
She said, He said, well, why do you have to disrespect them? He said, who am I disrespecting? The world before you. Meaning his ancestors, right? Why are you disrespecting them? They did what they had to do because they knew what they were doing. Right? They had to make economics. They had to take these people. They had to build them to do what they had to do. Listen to what I'm saying, y'all. I ain't condoning none of this shit. Let's get this straight. I ain't condoning none of this shit. I'm just giving another perspective of it because I don't think our people understand racism. And so they built a system structured on the back because if they had to do it, it never had gotten done. Huh? They couldn't have did this shit, y'all. Think about it. They couldn't have done it. They tried it before. They were trying to bring us. And they still was bringing some of them and it couldn't happen. And when it couldn't happen. It couldn't happen. They ain't built for that. So, that which they had done, again, was about survival. Yeah, greed is in there. All that shit, capitalism, all that shit is in there. But it was about survival. Okay? And him say you disrespect and put a world before them because why?
No, you're not disrespecting them. What part by walking do you perceive as either a Latina or a white girl?
You disrespect. He said, ain't that about a blimp? Ain't that about a bitch? You are considered in this society perceived. You walk around here and you are perceived as either a Latina or a white girl. See, you don't know what that Latina is, do you? Y'all got this thinking of that what it is because, see, you don't know the history. See, that's why I'm your whiteologist with the PhD. I've studied my history, and I ain't just all just African history either. That Latina goes back to when the Etruscans was up there running it. Do you know your history? When the Etruscans was up there, Etruscans, the Latin, now the Latina or Latin or Latino comes from a king named Latin. When they finally was to undercut the Etruscans, and set it up. This is where you get your Latin, which is going to be white folks. So he's saying, here you are, classified as a Latina. Do you know who Latinas are? The origin? You do not know. She do not know. That's why you considered a white or a white girl. Do you not know this? And most of you hearing ain't heard that either, or don't know that either, because that ain't part of the curriculum of teaching.
Why should you be walking publicly with black people?
Why can't you be walking publicly with black people? Why can't you? Don't you understand why you? It's not the fact that you can't be with them. It's the fact that don't you know what happens if when you with black people and then you mate with black people, what does that do to your status as Latina or white girl? Do you not know what that means?
Why? Is there a benefit to you?
Is there a benefit to you? Now some people may take that and say the benefit is because you're hanging around black people. This dude is talking from a genetic... This dude is talking from genetics. He ain't even talking about no skin color. He talking about from genetics. You don't know racism. He's talking from genetics. What benefit do you get if you are with black people other than yourself as a Latina or with a white person? Do you understand you're being decimated? Black people are decimated us across the planet.
Does it matter if you're white or...
See, couldn't even answer it. Is it a benefit to me? Does it matter if they're... See? You see? 36 years old. And don't understand what this is about. And the rest of you jumped on the bandwagon and you don't know racism. You just heard a couple blacks and not being around blacks.
Lord, yellow? I guess that you don't know that. Maybe you're stupid.
Huh? I guess that you don't know that. Maybe you're stupid. Huh? Is he talking about what I'm talking about, or is he talking about what y'all think y'all thought he was talking about? He's talking about some genetics. He said, hey, don't y'all teach preserving of your culture and your people? And the reason why you stay away from black people is because the minute you mix with black people, it kills off your people. Do you not understand that? I guess maybe you're stupid. And what does she say?
Maybe you don't know what people think of you.
He said, maybe you don't know what people think of you. And what he's saying is, the people who it matters to, there's people of your culture who that matters to, who understand what this is about preserving of themselves. And there's people that you associate with me who are probably white people who are looking at that too, and then you probably perceived as Latino and white. Do you not know this is an elite group? And this is part of the 1% group? Don't you know this 1% and what our whole agenda is we're trying to preserve here? If you ain't with the program, then you're an enemy to me. Like I'm talking to an enemy, he says. You're an enemy to me. But see, lack of knowledge, lack of understanding, lack of self-culture, and know thyself. Because if you understand and know yourself, you know exactly what I'm talking about right here. Because anybody who hear me and taking the talking about something, I'm for this white motherfucker, then you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm telling you what he was saying from the get-go. This is about genetics.
It does matter, yeah. It matters.
It matters. Yes, it does matter. Do you not understand we are becoming extinct? Do you not understand that?
You know that I'm mixed.
Do you know that I'm mixed?
No, I don't know.
Now, is he sarcastic? Is he sarcastic? No, I don't know that.
You know that I'm mixed. You told me you were going to remove those.
Now, something got edited. Because that don't make sense. Something was said, something else, but you told me you were going to remove those. That doesn't even make sense. Remove what? Wait, remove what those? Those what? What are you talking about? Remove what those? What are you talking about? So something was edited after that. We don't know what was said after that, but we know it was edited. Those who understand this.
He said, yes, I understand you. I mean, you change from day to day. Wow.
We don't know what was said, but you told me you were going to remove those. That had nothing to do with the conversation before. So you gotta know how to read and you gotta know how to comprehend. You want to be a whiteologist? You don't understand this. He said, whatever they were talking about on this particular part, you said, yes, I understand you. I mean, you change from day to day. Wow. But we don't know what was said.
So painful, wow. People call you and tell you that I have black people on my Instagram.
People call you and tell you that I have black people on my Instagram.
And it bothers you.
And it bothers you. Now, she said that you got black people on there. I don't think he's talking of. She's saying, you got to remember, she's the one saying this. You have not heard him say one thing yet about that. One thing yet. Not yet. He's going to say it. As I say, he's going to sign the deal. But it is her saying all the black trigger words that you are being inflamed with. He goes on.
Yeah, it bothers me a lot if you want to broadcast that you're...
See? He said, yeah, it bothers me a lot that you want to promote broadcast that you're associating.
Associating with black people.
Huh? Now that time, he signed the deal. That you're broadcasting that you're associating with black people. But he gonna tell you why he said that.
You have to. You associate with black people.
He said, do you have to? But she said, you associate with black people.
I'm not you and you're not me. You're supposed to be a delicate white or a delicate Latina girl.
Huh? He says, you're not me. I'm in the position of owning. The business or the business that I run deals with people of color. So I have to associate with people of color. But do you? If I'm giving you everything, if I'm giving you the cars to drive, the house to live in, huh? The one thing that I'm asking you not to do, right, is if you're going to associate and do what you're doing, just don't put that shit so all of them can see it so that they're fucking bothering me. That's what he's saying. He wasn't talking about black people entirely. Y'all don't know racism.
I'm sick. No.
Okay, well,
And you're in love with me. And I'm black and Mexican.
See? She keeps saying, I'm black and Mexican, whether you like it or not. Now listen to what he says.
Like it or not. Whether the world accepts it or not. And you're asking me to remove something that's part of me and in my bloodstream because the world thinks different of me and you're afraid of what they're going to think?
Huh? Did you hear the conversation before that? It was about... oh my goodness, man. I'm sorry, man. Y'all got played. She's the one saying all the stuff. She's saying it. She's the one talking, oh, I'm black and Latina, and I can't take it out of my blood. And listen to what he said. And because of your upbringing.
Because of your upbringing? You want me to have hate towards black people?
I don't want you to hate. That's what people do. They turn things around. I want you to love them.
Huh? I don't want you to have hate. That's what people do. They turn things around. I want you to love them privately. Huh? Listen to what he says.
Privately. In your whole life, every day you can be with them. Every single day of your life. But they're not in public. But why publicize it on the Instagram and why bring it to my ears?
Huh? Now, right there, people says, oh, he's telling her, why put all that shit on the public? Why you put that shit on social media? Don't you know any and everybody see it? And don't you know word will travel back? And they'll be like, hey, ain't that little Latina girl that you supposed to have? Why she all around here fucking around with niggas? And you know they probably fucking her. Mel Gibson told that. Remember when he told his girl, told about a pack of niggas gonna fuck you if you dress like that? Did we forget that shit? So here she is taking Instagram, publicly putting on there with Magic and all that. And when we, let's just get it real, y'all. Magic was a wild boy in his day, right? Magic say, hey, I want a rainbow. I want all these different flavors, right? And when you go to the Magic Johnson conversation, he said when he first came to LA, the first place that he went party was at this man's house on the beach party. And that man know how Magic got down. So if he's seeing his little honey that he trying to preserve for himself, taking pictures with Magic all hugged up, and if you looked at the picture, you'd be like, you a little close, huh? For a damn picture. And, you know what I'm saying? So, he was a little jealous of that, right? So he's saying, publicizing, putting all this on there so everybody's saying, and done. He didn't say black people. Why you bringing black people to the game? He said, you know them black people you be bringing with you to my games? You know them people you be bringing? Oh, nobody catch that. He talking about her. This is personal between him and her. He's talking about her bringing some people that she know, and you don't know the type of people that she be hanging with. You don't know the type of, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying, and you know they already got a problem with us because, you know, we black anyway. So I'm coming in there and, you know, he all in his attire, he's sagging and all that. And they like, wait a minute, how's a nigga like that in here, these skyboxes like that? Who you associated with? Phones is dead, you know. They in there, they loud or whatever. Loud and carrying on and, you know what I'm saying, acting a fool or whatever it might have been. You know what I'm saying? So he just saying, you know, hey, don't bring that to my games. How did black people take that he didn't want black people at the games? See, you don't know racism. Obviously we can't read either. Where does it say that he didn't want black people at his games? Now people might say he not said it before. We talking about this conversation.
Why bring the black people to the games?
She said, why bring the black people to the games? He's talking about the ones that you be bringing. Huh? The ones you bringing. These maybe ruffians in their eyes. You know, these thugs. Because I heard in that conversation with her and Barbara Walters, talking about the people that she was bringing, they was, you know, people complaining, talking about they were like thugs and stuff, huh? I'm not saying that them brothers what they was and was not. But if your man is the owner, why are you bringing other cats to the games? You understand what I'm saying? Why you, who's these other cats that you bringing to his games is what he's saying. Who's these other dudes you bringing? I don't mind you bringing your family and shit like that, but who's these other cats that you bringing?
I think he don't want to discuss that anymore. It's over. I don't want to talk about it.
See? He don't want to discuss this no more. It's over. I don't want to talk about it. Huh? Right there, he said the key word. It's over. It's done. Don't matter anymore. I don't want to talk about it no more. This is over with. Now watch how she changes. She changes her whole tone. Because he done already gave the key word. Don't worry about it. That's it. Washing my hands. It's over with.
I'm sorry that you feel that way.
I feel that way so strongly.
Is he talking about black people, or is he talking about I'm done with you? I feel this way so strongly about what I said to you because you're publicly putting people on Instagram and bringing all this shit to me, and you're coming to the damn game openly in front of everybody doing this shit. So yeah, I got to be done with it because you bringing too much ostracism on me. Again, people, listen to me. I ain't for the white motherfucker, but I don't want us to be fooled by no bullshit either. And he says what?
And it may cause our relationship to just break apart.
Huh? It may cause our relationship to break apart. He already said, this is it. I'm done. He washed his hands with her. Now he's double stamping it. You know this is going to break us up, right? And if it does, he said, if it does.
And if it does, it does. It's better to break apart now than to break apart later.
I'm sorry.
Huh? This is it. He's cutting it off. This meeting that they had right here, this was the end of it. Huh? This is it. I done made my decision. There's no talking with you. We were talking just now, and the way this conversation was going, guess what? You can't be who I want you to be. You can't understand this. So I have to let you go. And what does she say?
That you still have people around you that are full of race.
She's bringing up that. Huh? I'm sorry that you still have people around you that are full of racism and hate in their heart. Huh?
There's not any hate in their heart. I'm sorry that you're still racist in your heart. I'm sorry that you live in a world that's still...
Huh? You see how she jumped? From him was like, okay, I'm done with all that. Okay, this is it. So now I'm sorry that you, and I'm sorry that, huh? Hey, wait a minute, maybe I ain't understanding this, y'all. Correct me if I'm wrong. Because I'm not, how you getting there? Huh? Then he gonna say this, and see, You put about you threw 3 knives at him in that little bit of conversation you just said, huh? For y'all who just missed that, huh? I'm sorry that you still have people around you, huh? Who are full of racism and hate in their heart. I'm sorry that you still are racist in your heart. And I'm sorry that you live in a world that's still, huh? She threw 3 knives at him. Whop, whop, whop. And he responded. Oh, what?
I'm sorry that you live in a world that's still...
How about your whole life? Every day. You could do whatever you want. You could sleep with him, you could bring him in, you could do whatever you want. The little I asked you is not to promote it on that.
Huh? Are you hearing what he's saying? All he said is, look, you could do whatever you want. Don't you know I've actually created your life to actually you ain't got to really do nothing. Think about it. You won't pay for nothing. Huh? I provide everything you need. All I ask of you is don't publicize all your stuff that you can do privately or whatever. Put it on Instagram, social media, and watch what she says.
And not to bring them to my games.
And not to bring them to my games. The people that he talking about, he ain't talking about black people. He talking about the black people that she associating with. Oh my goodness, man! How dumb is?
I don't bring anyone to the game.
Okay, then there's nothing.
Now she lied. She said, "I don't bring anyone to the games." She lied because in the Barbara Walters conversation, that's where the information comes out that she was bringing people there. That those people that she bought, well, they would consider them thugs and all this other stuff. So why is now y'all don't act like you see when you only get part of the information? That's what I'm saying. You being played. She already said that she was bringing other people there, and come to find out that she also did have Magic Johnson on her personal Instagram. Well, the way they made it come across as if that she just took a picture with him and put it on her Instagram. That wasn't true, y'all. Somebody is playing to see if you do y'all really understand racism. This is what I believe.
I know.
Okay, we got a big problem here. I really don't feel like going.
See, he said, okay, we got a big problem here. I really don't feel like going anywhere. Meaning, I'm not going to do anything with you. This problem here, I have to figure. This is how it has to be solved. This is the only conclusion I can come to. There's nothing else we can do here.
Anywhere. I don't feel like going to Europe. I don't feel like destroying the whole thing. We gotta pay it.
Took her pause because he just basically the relationship is over. We're not going to Europe. We're not going to do none of the things that you talking about doing. This is it. It is over. Now here she comes. Matter of fact, she couldn't even say nothing. She's sitting there like, how? I got to save this. How can I save this? He said, now he even gives her a rebuttal to get back in if she could say the right thing. He gave her a rebuttal and said, if you didn't like him, someone that I was with, I would respect what you said. I'll stop seeing that person.
I'm sorry, I don't have any more friends. What would you like me to do?
Huh? I'm sorry, I don't have any more friends. What would you like me to do? Is this about black people or is this about the people that she associating with? Let's get it right, y'all. Y'all got caught up in something and not understand it because you don't know racism.
Remove the skin color.
Huh? You want me to remove the skin color? Who's talking?
My skin?
Is that a real issue or are you making something up?
See? Is that a real issue or are you making something up? Is that a real issue? Is that what this issue is about? This issue is anything nothing about you. The problem is the people that you're bringing that bring ostracism to me because if they didn't come to the game, they can't call me. If they don't see him on Instagram, they can't call me. What don't you understand?
I just don't understand what the issue is.
You don't understand what the issue is. A motherfucker is giving you a mansion. He done gave you $500,000 cars. Huh? He taking you everywhere just because you with him and if he's sleeping with you or whatever it might be. Hey, but you don't understand what the issue is and you 36 years old. Okay.
Well, you or your skin color? Why are you saying these things?
You said that. It was like, wait a minute. There's nothing wrong with you or your skin color. Why are you saying these things? To upset me? Yeah, that's what she's trying to do. Because he already done signed the deal and told her, this ain't going to work. This is over with. So she got to get under his skin. She needs the compilation prize, the walk-away prize.
To upset me?
Okay?
Sweetie.
Huh? You see how it was a long pause? She thinking. Huh? He like, okay. You trying to upset me? Okay. I'm done. Yeah, this is over. So she says, sweetie, huh? You know, huh? Well, you know what that means, huh?
Sweetie, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Huh? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have did. I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry, too. We made a giant mistake.
I'm sorry, too. We made a giant mistake. This is done, over with. Do you not see it that somebody is being extorted and somebody is using the race card? Are we become that stupid? But see, they came back. I'm not saying that this dude ain't never been a racist. I'm not saying that Elgin Baylor don't have a legitimate case about what his story was. I'm talking about this shit right here. Huh? Everything you say to me is so painful. Do I want you to change the color of your skin?
You know how to really hurt somebody.
Instead of saying,
I understand.
Huh? So, every time he's talking to her, she takes it and make it third party. Do you not understand that? Every time he's directing and talking with her, she'll go off on a tangent and talk about other people. When he's only directing towards you and about those association of people who you're dealing with. And if you're going to do with that, you can do with that. You can take them to be any way you want privately with them. But when you put that shit publicly, it's coming back to me. What don't you understand?
I don't understand how you can have so much hate towards minorities.
How can I don't understand how you can have so much hate towards minorities? There she go again. There she go again. You saying this word, trigger word, minorities. I don't understand why. He ain't even talking about them. He's talking about you. Can't you understand? I'm giving you the world and all I'm asking you to do. And if you gonna be my little girl on the side, then why you got all these dudes with you? And I know if they black, I know. I'm in the sport business. You think I don't know what these brothers be doing?
I don't have any hate on nothing.
I cannot understand
Why would you say
how a person who's elevated, who's here, still does the rest of the world.
You see how she is going in for the antagonism. This is her last shot. She got to do it. She is coming right at him. He keeps saying, I don't understand why you keep coming with this. Where is this coming from?
It can't even be seen with someone in which is considered of a different skin color.
Be with me all day, all night long.
I can't believe that a man who's educated, a man who's a scholar, a man who's
Believe it and stop talking about it.
Huh? She go through this whole little tantrum. I can't believe. And like, fuck, I don't give a fuck about what you can believe anymore. Stop about it. This shit don't make no sense what you talking about. The issue here is about you and bringing people in here who are bringing notification back to me. If you didn't bring them, this isn't even an issue. They couldn't even, if they didn't see him on the Instagram and they didn't see him, I wouldn't have said shit about it to you. I don't give a fuck what you do. And that's what he's going to say. I don't give a fuck what you do with whoever you with. When you ain't with me, I don't give a shit.
Let's finish our discussion.
That we've been talking about this whole damn time. No, but you keep bringing up some other shit because you got another agenda underneath this. Okay?
You're not making any good points. You can't believe this man. That's all I have. You're not a good person in your eyes. If I was a good person, you would say, I can't believe this. I can't believe that.
What am I
But you're all right. I love this.
So where all this negativity coming from?
There's no negativity. I love everybody. I'm just saying, in your lousy Instagram, you don't have to have yourself with walking with black people. You don't have to. If you want to, do it.
Now, what is he talking about? You don't have to have yourself with walking with black people. You don't have to. If you want to, do it. But you won't be doing it with me. Because I've told you already, you understand the circle and the community that I am, and you know how they am. I don't have a problem. They got a problem. And I'm in that community. And I have to abide by the communities that I am in. So, if you want to do that, you go ahead. But guess what? You won't be with me. Because you should understand this. But for some odd reason, you don't.
If it's white people, it's okay?
And she threw in, if it's white people, it's okay. Now,
If it was Larry Bird, would it have made a difference?
You're just a big fighter. I could see who would want to live with a woman like you. Who would want to live with a woman? All of you ever wanted to do was fight. You're a born fighter.
I'm sorry that you're mad.
You're the worst mouth.
Why are you so angry, honey? What's wrong?
Well, why don't you bring up Larry Bird? What has he got to do with it? You can walk all night long with your sisters, or your family.
I saw someone I admire Magic Johnson.
Okay, good.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
He made a lot of changes for his community, for the world, for the people, for the minorities. He's helped a lot of people.
So you're going to read the man's resume that you all up on, and not that the fact that you took a picture with him, that you also made him a personal friend on your Instagram. He's just an owner. He ain't no player. An owner could never match up to a player. Mark Cuban could not match up even against Dirk. You know what I'm saying? He got all the money, but Dirk the player, and Dirk is probably still pull better than Mark Cuban. Right? So, you want to throw a player at him, and he know how to play and get down because he's seen him at his own party, and here's his little piece that he trying to keep you, and you all hugged up on him, right? And he want to send his resume. He's changed the community for the world, for people in minority. He helped a lot of people. He said, why are you forcing me? He said, why are you forcing this down my throat? I'm finished talking to you. He said, I'm finished talking to you. I'm done with you. I'm finished. I'm talking to you. I'm done. Yeah.
I have nothing more to say.
And I took a picture.
And see? I got nothing more to say, and then she coming right behind it, and I took a picture. So she trying to piss him off.
Someone I admire.
Good.
And he happens to be black, and I'm sorry.
And he happens to be black, and I'm sorry. Really? You saying that? He didn't say that. I don't think this was ever about Magic Johnson. It was about them other ones that you brought to the game.
I think the fact that you admire him, I know him well, and he should be admired. And I'm just saying that you too bad you can't admire him privately. And during your entire life, your whole life, admire him. Bring him here, beat him, him. I don't care. You can do anything. But don't put him on this event for the world has to see, so they have to call me.
Huh? I don't care what you do. You can feed them, fuck them, do whatever the fuck you want to do with them, but just don't put it on the Instagram so everybody can see it, so they can call me about it. So, huh? I guess I ain't too smart. I must not be that smart.
And don't bring him into my games, okay?
Okay, which means, he said, and don't bring him to my games. Meaning, when you look at the Barbara Walters special, she has a special privilege that he given that maybe he can't even take away. Right? Maybe he don't really want it because that way he can still keep in contact with her, right? But she got a certain privilege in the Clippers organization where she can come and she can bring people. So he's saying, and don't bring him to my games either. Since we ain't going to be together no more, and it seems like this is where you're heading at, don't bring him to my games. Okay?
I've never thought, I don't know him personally.
See, she lied. I never brought, she had to change that. I don't bring up, that was a lie. I never brought, that was a lie. I don't know him personally. He's on a personal Instagram.
Really?
3 lies in a row. 3 lies in a row.
Please leave me alone, please.
Please leave me alone, please.
I'm sorry. Is there anything that I can do to make you feel better?
Can I fuck you or suck your dick before so I can maybe make you change your mind?
No, you could never make me feel better. You're just a fighter and you want to fight.
Oh. So, based on that, what I just sat there and I just decoded for you, why you not going to like it? Some of you going to be like, this nigga is for the white man. Any nigga say that to me, I'm going to make a video on you. We can go at it. We can go toe-to-toe on that. Because I definitely ain't for no white motherfuckers. I'm just telling you that we let somebody else play the game on us because her ass was losing. And she went with the race car, break the glass out because she was taping the shit for extortion. Because you remember, right after the story broke and afterwards it came out, what did he say there? He said, I should have just paid her ass off. Which means before the tapes were released, there was already a conversation about paying. And so the way that it got doctored up, it came across in a way because they know black people really don't understand racism. I ain't saying that this motherfucker ain't a racist. I'm just saying that this conversation right here wasn't so much about black people outside of the people she dealing with. You understand what I'm saying? He was talking about the people she was dealing with because this was a relationship. And you, as a man, you with a female, you dating somebody, you married to somebody, and she got some other niggas she riding around in your car with. She taking this nigga to the places that you own. You see what OJ did, right? That was the OJ Simpson case, right? Came by, nigga in there was, riding his old lady while the kids upstairs sleep. This is the house he paid for. Nigga in there eating his Haagen-Dazs ice cream and shit, right? Made a nigga snap. So he too old for that shit, right? But he still kind of wants you. You feel what I'm saying? And he said, the little thing I'm asking you to do, just don't promote this shit so that I got to hear from these other motherfuckers. Because I really don't give a fuck about what they think. As long as me and your relationship is cool, we cool. That's all I ask you to do, but you too damn stupid to understand what the fuck I'm talking about. Because see, you trying to play him and have your cake and ice cream and eat it too. You trying to front with his shit that he giving you to other motherfuckers to get game so you can be with the other motherfuckers who you really want to be with. And then when he was going to cut that ass off, when he said that shit was over, you had to break the glass case emergency exit. You had to go with it. That was the only thing you could do to extort that ass to try to make some good payment out of it one more last time. And you present that shit to the world. Well, it is what it is, y'all. It's Mr. Blows Your Mind. Come with another thought-provoking topic. There's a lot of shit said, y'all. And my wife, my friend, you know, he in the community, and they believe in preserving the whiteness, and they got a lot of control and power. There ain't no need of doubt about that. But to think that this is not the fabric of this country, when it was what is grounded, and this is what made this country. To be appalled is to be not knowing. And the thing is, you need to know thyself. See, if you knew thyself, then you would be able to interpret what is real racism, because that wasn't racism. He was just telling the truth of preserving themselves. Yeah, they control, but they dying out. Okay, so we ain't got to worry about that part. They're trying to fight against the time, and the time is not enough for them. And yeah, they had the control and the power. They were the one who created it. It was their league. What you expect? Who you think had all the damn money? Who could have that kind of money to facilitate shit like that? It would only be the people who made all the money from off our ancestry. So why are we appalled? Why do we want to believe that some people could change when no one has the power to make them change, other than what the spirit of the Creator is doing to them by decimating them?